What up, y'all? It's your boy Kakash13542, aka Fish, aka YG Piranha, aka your boy Marlin, here for another review backed by popular demand. I'm here to give some reviews about TV shows, movies, anime, and video games, about stuff that's popular, stuff that's around, everything that's going on. So let's get started. Um, this over this past weekend, I've had the privilege of finally being able to see Avatar: The Way of Water. I saw it in IMAX 3D, and it was phenomenal. That movie was fantastic. Uh, Literally 10 out of 10 out of 10. Three thumbs up. Like, round of applause to James Cameron and everybody that's involved with that. James Cameron is like one of the greatest writers. Everybody that was in that writing room, that screenplay room, if you were inside that room, you knew what was going on. If you were outside that room, you had no idea. The plot thickens is literally an an exaggeration of how well the plot went from the first movie to the second movie. You got just the acceleration of water. You got the acceleration of family, and you got the acceleration of characters. Like, if anything that happened, you need to watch the first one before you go see the second one, because you won't be disappointed. I know it's always a good idea to catch up on stuff before you watch the sequel or the new stuff that's coming out, and I do agree that you should do the same thing with Avatar. 10 out of 10 out of 10, three thumbs up. One of the best movies of all time. It deserves all the money that it's making because the story that James Cameron is telling us is just it's phenomenal. It's amazing. Um, when it comes to any more Avatar stuff that's coming out, I have heard that the new video game should be dropping by the end of the year. At the latest, hopefully it's no later than February of next year, but within the next 12 months we should be getting an Avatar video game, and that'll be next gen. That'll be on PC. That'll be amazing, and I can't wait to be able to wrap my hands on that and play it. So Avatar: Way of Water. Next up we got is TV show. I'll do Last of Us. That show has been phenomenal. I'll talk about episodes 3 and episode 4. Episodes 3 was one of the best love stories ever, ever encompassed and told, like, period. Whether it's through film, through video game, through music, through art, through radio. The love story that was told on that screen, anybody that was a human being, you felt it. You felt something out of it. It was phenomenal. It was just so humanly touched. Like, and it was just very rarely do you just watch something and you just moved, like truly moved. And that episode 3, was definitely an Emmy award winning episode in my personal opinion. Um, Inside an award winning show with Pedro Pascal. And then episode 4 was great. They're sticking to it. Um, this one was one of those episodes again where it feels very well done, with the fact that when in the video game you played as Joel, you played as Pedro Pascal's character, and as the audience member, you don't play as Joel, you play as the camera, watching the main character play the video game. And it's very interesting. You're basically the person in the room watching everybody play the video game, and they're doing it very well, making sure that people who have not played the game know what's going on and are involved with every step of the way on their journey, including raiders, including just everything that just happens. I'm very excited to see how episode 5 turns out, because they're going into every character that's just involved in this video game, and I can't wait to see how they do with with Henry and stuff. So yeah, episodes 3 and 4 of Last of Us. That's an Emmy award winning show. Pedro Pascal was just phenomenal. It's after watching the Mandalorian season 3 trailer. Well, after watching The Last of Us, I can now identify his voice very well. So watching the Mandalorian season 3 trailer, it's like I know that it's Pedro. Like, that is definitely his voice and his mannerisms that are playing that character. And I just can't wait to see what he has to offer when Mandalorian season 3 comes out. Um, I'm gonna do a review of Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I will max out my defense. Season 2. I've been waiting for season 2 to come out. If you're a fan of me, and my friendship and my posts on Facebook and stuff, you know that I did talk about Bofuri 1 a few years back, and Bofuri 2 is now out. I watched the first 4 episodes today, and it's great. It's fantastic isekai anime. It's about a girl who plays a video game. Um, Called like Neo World Online, I believe, and she plays with her friend Sally. And she makes a character named Maple, and she put all of her stats into defense because she doesn't want to get hurt. Even though it's a video game and you can't get hurt, she doesn't want to get hurt. It has dive technology. She wears gloves. She wears a helmet, so it's very very well done with the whole isekai dive, and it's just adorable. It's like a slice of life video game isekai. Like there's really not much plot to it other than just her character being OP. That's really about it, and then her meeting other characters that are just OP, and you just seeing her journey playing video games. She'll be the one episode to be like, let's go through level 4, and then now we're gonna go through level 5 and go fight the boss at level 5 and blah blah blah. And then they'll kill characters, or kill enemies and stuff, and video game characters, and they'll get cool abilities, and they'll PvP each other and see who's stronger. And it's just fun. It's a fun video game anime. I like video game animes because I play a lot of video games, so this is definitely one that definitely hits right on the mark of like Overlord and Sword Art Online. Um, at least like the first season of Sword Art Online and like the second season of Alicization specifically, it hits on the very very well. I would give Bofuri like an 8.7 out of 10, like phenomenal. I love it. So I'm gonna touch on 2 video games and then that'll be the end of this week. Um, we're going to talk about both Forspoken and both Fire Emblem Engage. Both of those I had purchased and I was able to get, and they both came out in January. Forspoken, I'll give a little bit of backstory before I like go into the game itself. I had the privilege of playing Final Fantasy and beating Final Fantasy 15, and then reading the Forspoken Game Informer literally the day before Forspoken came out. Now, why I have to touch on Final Fantasy 15 is because when I was reading the Game Informer, apparently Luminous Productions, the Square Enix company that made Forspoken, made Final Fantasy 15. I didn't know that. I would not have had any idea. So I was just, ironically, I got to play both of their products back to back and got to see their development from a 2015 game to 2023. Everything that they talked about that they wanted to improve on in that Game Informer article, from like game direction to art direction to cutscenes to just interacting with the backgrounds and combat, all of that was touched on. All of it's phenomenal. They're both magic style combat, because if you play Final Fantasy 15, you're a magic summoner. You summon your weapons magically and use them and do magic dodges and do magic teleportation effects from point A to point B. And in Forspoken, you do parkour magic dodges, and you use magic to shoot rocks and use vines from your environment and stuff, and it's very, 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 very similar. The cutscenes are crisp. Like, the cutscenes were super messy in Final Fantasy 15. They are not messy at all in Forspoken. They did a better job with art direction, and then when you press a button, it does what it says it's going to do. Like, if I walk up to a treasure chest in Forspoken and press the triangle button, it's going to work. As opposed to Final Fantasy 15, if I walk and press an item in the middle of combat, you can't use it. You can't interact with it. Like, your combat, you're cut off from interacting with it, even though you were able to interact with it a second ago. Like, all the messiness of Final Fantasy 15 was fixed in Forspoken, and I think they did a great job. I'd give that game an 8.7 personally. Like, I have been looking forward to it for a long time, and it's great. It is unfortunate about, the low frame rate and stuff like that, but I'm not the biggest frame rate person, so that doesn't really go into my rating system. I'm not looking for a game that can make my PS5 explode. So I'm totally fine with, like, it is unfortunate that if you want 60 frames per second, you're not getting that out of that game, but it's still a great looking game. It looks gorgeous. It definitely looks better than Final Fantasy 15, and that's the last game that this studio worked on. So if it looks better than the last thing that you worked on, good job. Then we'll talk about Fire Emblem Engage real quick. Fire Emblem Engage is a love letter to Fire Emblem fans because you can basically engage. You can basically literally link up and summon Fire Emblem characters from old, including Lyn, my favorite female character from Fire Emblem 2003, Marth, who's in various Fire Emblem games and Super Smash Bros. Games. You can summon Celica from Fire Emblem, the second Fire Emblem game, technically Fire Emblem 2 in the remake of Fire Emblem 2, which was Echoes of Valencia. And then you got, I know for a fact you can do Tiki as a summon from Fire Emblem Warriors. So the storyline is great. Like, you play as a main character instead of as a tactician, and I do like being able to play as a character. You can choose between male or female. I chose for the female experience because, in my experience, when it comes to Fire Emblem games, there's a lot more. It's a lot easier for me to bond and level up with characters if I'm a female than if I'm a male, just because a lot of the male characters, I feel like I have difficulty bonding with if I was a male. That's just how I bond with people. So when it comes to being a female in Fire Emblem games, it's ever since I played Awakening, it's been a lot more fun and a lot easier bonding with all the female and the male characters, because support thing is a support with characters is a thing in Fire Emblem. You have support levels that you level up and everything, and I'm excited to see where support levels go with this game. I'm only about 4 missions in, so I'm not super far. I am playing on the hardest difficulty as I normally do, so it's definitely a challenge. But it's a great game. I hope to have move forward with it so I can be able to give a proper review about how like the storyline and the end of the gameplay goes later this year. I would give that one a 9 out of 10. It's definitely, in my opinion, better than Fire Emblem Three Houses and Fire Emblem Three Hopes, because they go back to like the original Fire Emblem formula and truly capitalize on it. There's nothing wrong with the Fire Emblem Warriors formula, but it's a Warriors formula. It's not a Fire Emblem formula, and I love them when they go back to the Fire Emblem formula. So that's the main reason behind my rating for that. The next game that I will be playing that comes out tonight, in a less than an hour and a half, will be Hogwarts Legacy. I will touch on the fact that I know there's a lot of controversy with what J.K. Rowling has said. Unfortunately, stating your opinion when you're on a famous platform can be very tumultuous and dangerous, and when you state opinion that people don't like, people are going to respond with, with dislikeness. Personally, I don't feel that she's hurt anybody. She's gone out and like personally attacked anybody. And I'm just gonna just leave it at that. When it comes to the video game itself, I know for a fact that like it's made by a bunch of people who are just fans of Harry Potter, like me. Like, I've been a fan of Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a part of me. Harry Potter is the first book series that I independently started reading. My mom, between the ages of, I think I was 5 or 6, so between the ages of 5 and 6, my mom told me to go to the Arapahoe Library and pick out a book. I was old enough to pick out a book on my own and independently read on my own, and she knew that I would actually do it instead of her assigning me a book. And the first book I ever picked out was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And then the second book I ever picked out was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and the rest is history. It was such a good book series that I told my mom to read it immediately after I finished the first book and found the second one, and found out that there was a second one. Like, I was like, Mom, there's more. So made my mom, read the first one, and she loved it, and we're both big Harry Potter fans. The movies used to come out either around her birthday or around my birthday. So this is also, I want to touch on this. This is also the Harry Potter video game we've all been waiting for as Harry Potter fans. The two best Harry Potter video games that I humbly have to say prior to this game is the Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets video game and Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Both those games are phenomenal, but both those games are very old. It's been a long time since we've had Harry Potter games. We haven't been able to use the unforgivable curses. We haven't been able to truly explore Hogwarts and explore the Forbidden Forest, and maybe even be able to explore the Great Lake. Who knows? They haven't touched on that, but being able to fly around on a hippogriff and flying out on a broom, and being able to see the video game switch from summer to winter, why not be able to go down in the Great Lake? Who knows? I'd like to be able to eat some gillyweed, find that, and fucking be able to go swim in the Great Lake. That would be amazing. That would be phenomenal. So who knows? That would be a great time. But regardless, all of those things are things that we've been waiting for in a Harry Potter game, and calling it Hogwarts Legacy is smart because, one, it has nothing to do with Harry Potter. It's based on the 1800s, and two, it has to do more with the Harry Potter world, which they're doing it at Hogwarts. They're not basing it like, in the streets of New York or something like that, or the streets of London. They're basing it out at Hogwarts Castle. And the things at Hogwarts Castle, who knows? I might run into the kitchens and go see a house elf making food. Because, a lot of these people, I feel like a lot of the people who worked on the game are definitely fans of the book as well as fans of the movies. The books have so much detail and have so much life to them. Like, so there's just so much looking forward to this game that I'm excited to possibly be able to do. And if I can't do those things, the things I'm still going to be able to do are still going to blow my mind, and it's still going to be a great experience, not just as a Harry Potter fan, but as a video gamer. If you're going into this as not a Harry Potter fan and as a gamer, totally fine, but you will have a different perspective, I feel like, and a different response. And I don't feel like you're going to have a full experience if you have not at least read or watched the Harry Potter films, because that is the source material that this is based off of. So I'm excited for it, and I'll be definitely be recording gameplay and posting gameplay tonight. I'll probably hopefully have about 6 hours of gameplay because it comes out at 10 p.m. and we'll be staying up a little late for that. So definitely be giving you guys a review next week on that, and I'll have some more things on the list upcoming in the next week. So, well, thank you guys for sticking around. If you guys enjoyed it, like, subscribe, share, do all those fancy things. If you didn't enjoy it, still like, subscribe, share. But if you did enjoy it, definitely make any comments in below, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much. Have a great night.